Hello everyone, and welcome back to oh my gosh, I almost said NieR Reincarnation. NieR Replicant. Goodness gracious. I have had NieR Replicant and NieR Reincarnation both on my mind lately, and a lot of people have been commenting on my summary for the NieR Reincarnation story, so I think that's where I'm getting them both mixed up. But I did say that this next episode, we are going to be heading to the Junk Heap, so we're going to go ahead and do that. Because I do want to get this section out of the way, so that we can start actually grinding. But yeah, definitely so we can actually start grinding so that I can upgrade my weapons.
Damn it! Your armor's too strong!
They seem to have developed some manner of bodily protection. It seems these creatures, too, follow the prescripts of evolution.
And I'll just have to overpower them!
I do still need to do, magic's good for breaking armor, by the way. I do still need to, catch fish and do some other stuff. So we'll get around to that eventually. I'm not gonna fish, like, on camera. I know that stuff bores people all to tears. Woo. Man, these boys be spicy. And they never stop. There's so many of them. But magic is really, really good for armor. And then once you have them in the sun, they are obviously a lot more susceptible to damage. But yeah, so it's not like all bad. But then when you're running into like a whole lot of enemies, then that's where you're kind of running into the issue. There we go. But yeah, when we go to the Junk Heap, we are going to be getting a very specific card key, which will then let us into a very specific area where we can not only get like multiple complex machines, but we will basically be able to get a lot of titanium ore, which is needed for most upgrades. So that's why the Junk Heap is so important. I could obviously do like Forest of Myth and some other things and whatnot, but I feel like opening the Junk Heap is super duper duper important right off the bat, so... Ooh, baby. I'm just kind of seeing what resources are around too, because we do still need a lot of resources. Most of the side quests that you get in the second half of the game are all resource driven, like heavy resource driven, and most of them actually like focus on stuff that you get from the Junk Heap. They're just rare items that you get from the Junk Heap, so that's something to keep in mind too. Woo! I don't know how people can say that they don't like Replicant's combat system. So one of the things whenever I was, I guess still in my hyperfixation with NieR, due to, you know, just due to the fact that Reincarnation was still going on at the time, and I was huge into collecting lore and stuff like that. One of the things, God, these guys are beefy. One of the things that I saw was there were a lot of people that were kind of noticing that Reincarnation was becoming a little bit more popular, but not like super duper popular. So one of the things that people were mentioning was whether or not they should go and play Replicant, because with people posting about Reincarnation, there was like a whole group of people that were like, holy crap, there's actually like more NieR games out there. Because there's some people that think that NieR Automata is like the only NieR game, and that's why they're all like, we need Automata 2. No, you don't need Automata 2. You need, you know, more gap fillers, but maybe with the fluidity of Automata's combat. Unless you're just completely horny for androids, in which case, like, yeah, I guess I could see why you want Automata 2, but me personally, as an actual, like, as someone that I say is like an actual NieR fan, you know, as a series, a NieR fan, I don't want an Automata 2. I know that these stories aren't supposed to, like, continue, per se. They're chapters in a whole story, you know? Oh, is this the treasure map one?
Hey, you. You ever seen a treasure map before?
A treasure map?
Yeah, a treasure map. You know, a map that shows you where to find buried treasure. I'm collecting them. My lifelong dream is to one day roll naked in a pile of sweet, sweet treasure.
That's an interesting dream.
So that's why I'm looking for a new treasure map or two. If you find one, bring it on over to me, all right?
Sure thing. I guess I should know where to look for a treasure map before telling the guy sure thing.
One could hardly expect to stumble across such a thing lying on the ground. Perhaps we should look for a place where old documents are stored.
Old documents, huh?
Yeah, it sounds like we're going to the library. Oh man, there's a lot of side quests. What's going on, lady?
Everything all right, ma'am?
No. My son has come down with a strange illness. He's been ill for a week, and no matter what I do, it just seems to get worse.
That's not good. Any idea what's causing it?
No. He went out to play with the other children like he usually does, and when he came home, he was sick.
Something must have happened to him out there. I'll see what I can figure out.
You will?
Of course.
Meddlesome as always, I see. Shall we begin by questioning the children?
Sounds like a plan to me.
I suppose all children are precious to their own parents.
Yeah.
But if the cause of the illness is a mystery, then we have little way to search for a cure.
Well, you're smart. Come up with something.
Perhaps we should speak with the local children.
Why would kids know when the adults don't?
Even the oldest adult in the world is but a child to my eyes.
Alright, so the reason I'm not doing that quest is just because I kind of already know, like, where to go and what to do for those. Obviously, I want to go to the Junk Heap. I don't want to keep waiting on that. I thought that was an item for some reason. So we're just gonna go to the Junk Heap. We can do all the side quests later. They're both pretty simple. One has you going to the library to get the treasure map. Once you get the treasure map, the guy's gonna ask you to go find the treasure for him. And then with the sickness, you question the children, you find out where the kids went, you go to the place, you know. So. But we'll do that all in time. Besides, I've actually noticed a pattern. So when I'm actually doing story stuff, people are interested.
Something appears to be amiss with these creatures.
Well, yeah, they're shades.
That is not what I meant. How to explain it?
You think about it while I kill them.
They're wearing armor. I would assume, since I got the tutorial for armored enemies. Some of the tutorials show up in really weird places, and I don't understand why they show up the way they do. I mean, it is what it is, but thanks. Okay, but I did get a little sidetracked with my little thing that I was saying earlier about the combat. So, when people realized that there was more NieR games, a lot of people were like, hey, should I play Replicant? Because they're like, which one came first? And everybody's like, Replicant came first. And they're like, alright, should I play Replicant? And there was a lot of people that said, yes, I mean, absolutely, totally play Replicant. If you like the NieR universe, if it's something that interests you, then go and play Replicant. And, I mean, yeah, like, Replicant is freaking fantastic. It's phenomenal. Story-wise, character-wise, like, music-wise, cannot complain. Like, it is NieR through and through, and we wouldn't have Automata if we didn't have Replicant. So, you know, so it's one of those things. Well, I mean, we could have probably had Automata, considering the fact that it was a stage play before it became a game. But anyways, regardless, Replicant, you know, like I said, is important. And it's my favorite. And so, I guess, after that, a bunch of people started playing Replicant. Not gonna complain. Again, favorite game, 10 out of 10, would absolutely recommend. But then I started seeing posts pop up where people were complaining about the combat. Now, this is a remake, and they have done so much with the combat. So, like, I can move and shoot, Same with the magic. I can move and aim. That is not something that you can do in the original NieR. That is definitely something that people take for granted, I think. There's a few other quality of life changes as well. Like I said, definitely stuff that people take for granted, but it is a lot of good stuff going on in the remake. But even playing the remake, people said that they hated the combat because of how slow it is. Now, Automata was built around its combat, and this is the best way I can explain it. Replicant was built around its story. Automata was built around its combat. And the thing is Automata still has an amazing story, don't get me wrong. But it was more about the combat and the fluidity of the combat versus Replicant, which wasn't built around that. It was built around being stylized and, you know, having that story and that uniqueness.
Man, there's gotta be tons of machinery here.
Yeah, but I don't know how much we can actually use.
Oh, wow. Check this out. It looks brand new.
Hey, be careful, all right? This place is dangerous.
I'll be fine.
Oh, no!
Huh?
Look out!
Huh? 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 Jacob? Oh God, this can't be happening. Jacob! Jacob! No!
Okay. So, yeah. That was a thing.
The Junk Heap. Perhaps we should speak to the brothers.
Brother.
They might know something about this.
Okay, so that that scene can be construed a couple of ways. One, he either pulled so hard that he pulled his brother's arm off because something was disconnecting it, or he pulled so hard that his whole brother's torso split in half due to the fact that half of him was crushed. I definitely think it's the second one. Either way, it's disgusting. And the kid, not knowing that he essentially caused it, blames the robot that he saw. He thinks the robot's the one that caused it rather than him, because he was just being reckless and not paying attention. So, either way, messed up stuff, but that's NieR. Alright.
Oh, hey there. It's been a while.
You're the little one, aren't you? You've grown up.
And he has a robotic hand.
How fares your brother?
My brother's been dead for 4 years.
Oh, I see. Please forgive the question.
It's okay.
I need to ask you something.
What is it?
Have you heard any rumors about shades around here? Not the little ones. I'm looking for one that's unusually big and powerful.
No, I haven't heard about anything like that. But I haven't really been listening. All I want is to destroy robots. Just rip them up.
Okay. Never mind then. See you later.
Wait!
Yes.
I recently got my hands on a weapon. A very powerful weapon. I thought you might get some use out of it.
Two-handed sword, iron will.
This sword has seen better days.
Yeah, it's pretty beat up. I mean, there's potential, but it's fairly powerless right now.
Can you repair it?
I can repair anything with the proper materials.
If you'll fix it, I'll get the parts.
I'm so glad I decided not to throw this out. I'm gonna need some memory alloy. Only the real big enemies on the second basement level have them, so watch yourself. Also, here's the passcode to get down there. Use it on the elevator.
You got it.
Okay. So I guess that's what we're doing. So now we are heading into the Junk Heap to get the memory alloy. So, and then once we do that, we'll be able to upgrade more weapons. Obviously, we're heading into an area where there's bound to be a boss fight, etc., etc., etc. So, but I like the Junk Heap. I like it a lot, actually. It can be frustrating, but I like it. It's
a shame about the older lad. He was but a child.
Yeah.
Sounds like you went into a dangerous area for the sake of the business.
So you're going to fetch parts to fix a lighthouse?
Yeah. There was this old lady that helped me once, and I'm fixing the lighthouse where she used to live.
Exactly who did the helping is a matter of debate. But regardless.
Wow! A lighthouse keeper. That sounds kind of romantic.
Indeed. She was nothing if not a hopeless romantic.
That is true.
Yeah, I guess she was.
Alright, B2. But yeah, oh gosh, I forget what I was saying. Obviously the robots are going to be hard until we're a higher level and have better weapons. So they're going to be rough, but this is a great place to level up and it's a great place to get materials.
The elder brother postponed his joy for the sake of his sibling. Do you think he was ever truly happy?
Just making his little brother happy would have been enough. That's what being an older brother is like.
I detect not a whit of intelligence from within that clump of iron.
Who cares if it's smart when it can smash you into a pancake?
No mere machine can hope to prevail against our intelligence and skill.
Wow, thanks, book. I feel so much better already.
This is also a great place to, like, sell materials, too. Now, obviously, if you remember before, the titanium alloys we get from the red-eyed robots, which are the ones that, you know, shoot magic. Okay, so we need one of these bombs because we need to throw it over here. Oh, too far. Oops. Okay. I was saying we need to throw it here. God. There's a lot of stuff going on this floor. Now these cannons aren't hard because the magic is something that you can shoot through. So it's like it's not hard to not take damage from them. They're more annoying. You do need to destroy them though because they are what hold bombs. And so you know you have to be able to utilize them. Because there are a lot of broken sections. I say broken sections, but there's a lot of sections in this where there's going to be oh, we want those. There's going to be a lot of sections in here with old rusty walls, and we want to be able to destroy those. The only bad part about these is that they obviously don't provide any items. So essentially you're kind of just going in here for the sake of going in here, but I mean, it is what it is. So some of the items that you saw, I was actually getting them from these flying saucer monsters, and these things, they come out of the vents up here. They are so frustrating, but they are needed because they drop a special sort of, I think it's motor oil, and we need that motor oil, so... And I tend to just to go in every room because, again, I really need the items. So the best way to get rid of these things is obviously magic. There are some rooms that have more than others. The only thing you have to be careful of is that these things, their items will disappear. So you have to make sure that you're kind of prioritizing picking up their items, especially since they can drop some really rare ones. But just like with these, just like with the other robots, they do explode upon defeating them. So you just want to make sure that you're actually picking up the items, but also watching out for the explosions. So. Anything else? No? Okay. Also, I have a cricket in my house, and it has been driving me nuts for like the last 2 days. And I don't even think it's actually in my house. I think it's just directly outside the window. It's chilling in my tomato plants, and that's probably more likely. But at the same time, it's so frustrating because I hear it chirping constantly. Now there is one room in here that it doesn't bug out, but there's like a delay with the robots. There's like one that'll spawn like super duper late. And it's just kind of more annoying than anything. It's not like bad, it's just more annoying because you have to sit there and wait for the robot to spawn. Because the pods don't show up when you kind of would expect it to. Ooh. But yeah, people that complain about Replicant's, like, combat system, I will never understand it. I think the combat is actually pretty satisfying. I guess in the first half of the game, the combat feels a little sluggish. And I could get that because you're only able to use sword and shield because you're a child. So, like, I get it, but once you get into the second half of the game, the combat switches up considerably. And that's another thing. A lot of people that I was seeing... Oh, yeah, we're gonna have to bomb that one open. For a lot of the, Ooh, rare item. Amber. Nice. But I noticed that for a lot of people, they didn't even get to the second half of the game. Either they were just like, oh, I got bored and I quit. And I'm like, how? Like, they're... Oh, I hate it when they do that. I'll explain that too. But yeah, I cannot stand it when they do that. So obviously you can't fall in these pits because it's insta-death. There are red robots in here, and the problem is they will literally murderize themselves and fall into holes. So not only are you trying not to fall in the hole, but you're also trying to keep the red robots from falling into the holes because they provide really, really good materials. But also, Kaine, much as I love her, she will also push the red robots into the holes. And I really wish she wouldn't do that. So, because again, these are the ones that have the memory alloys and stuff. But these boxes also can hold really, really good materials that do not go in that hole, for fuck's sake. I'm gonna say. But yeah, those gold items right there, good stuffs. I mean, usually it's amber and fluorite, but it's still good. Like, you still are going to need it. And then if you can get some, you know, free titanium alloy out of this, I mean, all the better, you know? Oh, another gold item. Let's see what it is. More amber. There's another one. It's a type of metal. It's like dark steel. Is it dark steel? I don't know. I forget. It's... No, orichalcum maybe? I don't know. Anyways, there's a type of metal that is really, really... You need it, essentially. Like, you are going to need it. Okay, so there's going to be a boss fight in here, eventually. Whenever you see, like, big, open floors like this, there is a boss in here, or like a mini boss, I should say. It's not like, obviously, not like a full-on boss, but, titanium alloy. Okay. Alright, and now we get these, which I love this room because we will be using it a lot. And now that I have, like, this unlocked, I am going to be live streaming when I'm grinding for materials. You are probably going to be seeing me in this room a lot, because we are going to need it. So far, no rare items, which is unfortunate. Memory alloy. And he probably dropped a complex machine. Nope, more titanium alloy. So, yeah, and that's another thing. The big bosses can drop titanium alloys. Sometimes they'll drop complex machines. I think usually they drop alloys, but I'm not sure. So the only thing I hate about this is if you pick up the bomb, sometimes this door will not stay open, and sometimes it will. And that can be kind of frustrating. But this is not the most frustrating room. There's actually one that's even more frustrating. And it's coming up. And it's because these are located in the middle of the room. And so they'll drop bombs, and then I think this is the door? Yeah, and then when you open it, there's a gate right here. Well, this door doesn't stay open. Not usually. It's being nice to us. So usually the door will close, and you have to wait for it to open again while carrying the bomb, and usually you don't have a lot of time to do that. So it can be very, very frustrating. Alright, now there is another section that we're going to, and so we need to go all the way down this way. Yeah. And then this way. And then this way. And it's another cart section, so... Which the cart sections aren't too bad. You just have to make sure that you have your magic up, because you want to get rid of the cannons and stuff. And the aiming can be a little weird at first. I always gotta, like, remember how to do it. And you can obviously make the cart, like, speed up or, like, slow down. I always speed it up, so I'm kind of, like, making it a little bit more challenging on myself by doing that. But I'm just impatient that way. You're not going to get any items from this cannon section yourself, but there are enemies, more of those floaty doodad guys that give us the motor oil we need so bad. Except what's frustrating is we don't get to collect the items from them, which is really frustrating. That's why I wish like any other enemy spawned except the one that we really need to spawn in mass. But it is a good way to level up. So, because killing a lot of these guys, you can level up and stuff. And I've leveled up and doing that before, so. Yeah! They are annoying though, that is for sure. It's all resource management. Like, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? See? We level up! Now we're kind of in the shit. Too bad. But yeah, I try to hurry up so that I'm not having to fight so many enemies, and also just so I can get through the section faster. And it does use a lot of magic, but at the same time, by the time you get to this point, you don't have to worry so much about the magic. Alright, here we go. I don't even really think, we're not really supposed to be here yet anyways, I don't think. But it is a good place to grind for materials, so. Now these guys are very susceptible to magic, so I tend to just do it that way. Because I mean, otherwise, they are pretty easy to take down. They're not, like, hard or anything. Mostly it's whenever they, freaking have their, when they hit the ground and they do that close radius, shock. That's when they're the most annoying. Like I said, whenever you're doing one of these things, take every opportunity you can to get supplies. Like I said, even if you don't have to be in that area at that moment, like, ooh, give machine oil, yes. Take the time to do it. Like, just take the time to freaking do it. Because especially in a game like this, where you're going to need all those resources, yeah, like I said, freaking do it. Even if you're like, oh no, I don't need to be here, I'll come back later. No, you're gonna come here like 1,000 times, dude. So just get it while you can. Okay, but I don't want to go to this section yet. Now that I think about it, I want to go all the way up, because we came from there, so I want to go this way. Because this is where all the red robots are. Which means we have more opportunities to get titanium alloy. Which we are going to need a crap ton of. Alright. Look at all those red robots. It's beautiful. Mysterious switch. That's not bad. There's so much going on. This doesn't lead to anywhere. That room is broken, because if you try and go through it, they'll be like, the door is broke. So, you can tell on the map. Do use the mini-map, especially for sections like this, because there's gonna be a lot of, like, fake doors. So, like, this door won't go nowhere, this door doesn't go anywhere. Even though it's broken, quote-unquote, you'll come back to that, probably later. This room is a good room. Hell yeah. I see golden items, I just get excited. Get so excited. This is one of those top-down rooms. Ugh, I hate those. Hate top-down rooms. Take out the red ones first, because they shoot into magic. Now, the yellow robots do actually have a golden item they can give you. I forget what it's called. It's not as needed or as impressive. It just kind of exists. But it's like, it is a thing. Whoa, I forgot. I forgot. No titanium alloy. I just want the titanium alloy. Yeah. I mean, we've gotten, what, 2? And 1 machine oil? So, I mean, it's... I hate to say it, but that's not a bad haul. Is this the one where it's complicated? Let's see. Yeah. Alright, this is the one I hate, because you have to pick up the bomb, and then it's like... It doesn't work. Obviously, you can go in this room, but sometimes if you hit it at just the right angle, sometimes it works. Either way, it's gonna be a pain. Ugh. Because either way, you have to hit it at an angle, and, like, this game is not very nice when it comes to that. around in circles. Go around in circles. And then when we get into this room, more cannons will pop up. 2 cannons and 2 robots. Okay, never mind. More cannons. This door likes to close on me, sometimes. Alright, so now we can go through here. And then this will lead to another boss room, I think? All that money. That's all I see it as, is money. Yep, another boss room. This should be the third and final memory alloy we need. If I am correct. See, really, that's the only, like, hard part about this, is whenever it, does that close range and then starts spinning, because, I mean, the rest of it is pretty simple. Oh yeah, there's another one I forgot. And then we get all the floaty things, too. And we want to make sure while this is going on that they're not dropping machine oil. Because that's like liquid gold, like literally. More titanium alloy. Right, anything else? No? Okay. But yeah, I apologize for not getting back to this sooner. I was on vacation and I told myself I was gonna do all this stuff. And then it's not that I didn't want to do it. It's just that I never got around to it because, literally the only reason I didn't get around to it was because I was traveling. That's where we came from. This is where we need to go. But yeah, I was traveling. I went to Michigan for a couple days. Nothing too crazy, but I don't know, something about traveling, it really took me a minute to recover. Like, when I came back, I was just not feeling, like, great. For anybody that's ever been to a convention, you've probably heard the term con crud. And I definitely got con crud. Like, I just felt god-awful. Okay, so for these guys, right? They actually float, like, in space, essentially. They spawn from that tower over there, and then they will, like, fly towards you. I try to lure them over, like, the stairs or some platform, because otherwise you're essentially sending them into the abyss. And then you're not going to gather any of the items that you can get from them. So if you can lure them to the stairs and then kill them, you can essentially get the items from them. So it does take a lot of patience. You know, you're gonna lose some more than you're gonna, like, gain some. But it's really just how it is. You take what you can get, you gamble that way. And then, like, some of them will raise up like this one, and then they'll come towards you. The only problem is that a meal or Kaine sometimes will destroy them before you can actually get to them. And that's kind of the only, like, real threat. and then sometimes you can backtrack and some will have gotten on the stairs, but usually that's not the case. Because again, Emil and whatnot, like their magics, I was gonna jump over that rail, but that's just a common item, we don't really need it so much. We'll be getting so much of that, we'll be able to sell all of it. But yeah, and then this will lead us straight to the surface again. What was I saying? But yeah, so I try to lure them on the stairs because otherwise you're just missing out on resources. And you obviously don't want to do that. Okay, so. Obtain the Spear Beast Curse. Alright, let's look at the spear that we got. Spears, Beast Curse. So it's weaker than what we have. It's so cool though. But it's weaker than what we have and it's heavy. It's a heavy spear. Whoop. There we go. Yeah, we're not supposed to be here just yet. So for now, we don't have to worry about it, but we will be coming back to this area later. But yeah, we'll be going through the Junk Heap a couple times. We obviously need a lot of materials for like 2 of the side quests that we have. And this leads us right back to the surface, so it's fine. And we gained a level while we were in there, so we'll be gaining a lot of levels though, trust me.
That's some pretty impressive stuff you found. I'll start upgrading your weapon right away. And since you did me a favor, I won't even charge you for it.
Okay.
Well, actually, this is gonna take a little more time than I thought. No sense in you waiting around. I'll send you a letter once it's ready.
That would be great.
Now I wonder if we can get him to upgrade anything else.
No sense in you waiting. That would be. By the. What can I help you with?
Strengthen weapons. So forging. Beast Curse. I don't really want that one. What does this need? Silver ore and large gear. We don't have any of that. Now we can upgrade Beast Curse. Ooh, what about Spear of the Usurper? Ooh. We could do that one. What about Transience? Let's see. This one's just requiring... Okay, so... Okay, but this is so weak already. But we can do this one. Aw, we can't really do too much else with that one, though. I mean, I guess we could do this one. Ooh. Alright, anyways. So, let's see, more Vice, weapons, spears. Spear of the Usurper is now 418, 50% magic power. It is light. So we're gonna go ahead and put that one on as our spear. Because we don't have the Phoenix Spear right now, because otherwise I'd be upgrading that one.
It appears we have some free time on our hands.
Popola said we might be able to find something in the Forest of Myth.
You will forgive me if I seem less than enthusiastic about such a trip.
But we're not gonna go there just yet, so... Because we have side quests! Besides, Forest of Myth, that section takes so long. So, let us see what quests we have. Okay, so we still need Broken Lens, Broken Battery, and Mysterious Switches. We still need all of those. Fisherman's Gambit, we still have to get 3 Royal Fish. Collect 5 logs, 20 dented metal boards, 10 strip bolts. So we can go to Seafront and turn those in, so staying afloat, we're fine. Titanium alloy. A man milling near some pigs needs material. So we need more titanium alloy, but other than that, we've already done that. Creaky water wheel. Needs repairing the water wheel. Travels of facade strange things. They obtain parts to repair it. So I have to go to the strange things. So, I guess we already got that, maybe? and a child's final chance. We have to talk to the kid. Damaged map, we have to get the map. And the Great Tree is the... Oh, we have to go to the Lost Shrine. I forgot. So we're gonna go do that, actually. Because I was talking about reincarnation. It was a sign. Okay. Always get to materials. So I was mentioning how there were quests that were directly related to NieR Reincarnation. And the one that I'm going to do right now for the botanist in Seafront is actually one of those. And we have to go to Seafront anyways, so this is all just going to work out nicely. Ooh, Bezu. I like getting new words. Plus there's an achievement for filling out old words too. And these guys drop the materials we're gonna need anyways. So. Kaine, stop hitting them away from me. The only problem with Spear is that it can be so flighty that it can be really hard to control sometimes. But, I mean, I know eventually I'm gonna switch to Greatsword, but I just don't want to right now. Because I really do like Spear. Alright, where are you at? Where are you at? There you go. Okay, so we have to go to the Lost Shrine, which requires us going to the docks, which then requires us to freaking... I like how this guy just punches magic at us. He doesn't even, like, use it properly. He's just like, magic with my fists. Who could look at this combat and be like, oh yeah, no, this is crappy combat. So good. It's very satisfying. Yes, it is heavier than Automata. Yes, it lacks the customization of Automata, but it's still good. It's still good stuff. Okay. Anywho. And yes, I am going to bring that up probably a lot, because, like, I don't know, comments like that just get me so salty. So salty.
This one time, my wife stumbled over her words during an argument, and I called her out on it. Wrong move there, my friend. Talk about throwing oil on a fire. Whoo-wee. Anyway, enough about me.
Yeah, no shit. Lost Shrine. I just need a piece of a tree, my guy. And then we are out of here and on to better things. But this does relate to reincarnation, which means it's importante. There's no shades here yet, I don't think. Okay. I was about to say, I don't remember there being any shades here yet. I don't think that they show up until we have all the keys. But I could always be wrong, you know, which is good to check. Alright, so essentially, if you don't remember the quest that I'm talking about, there was a botanist who asked us to get a piece of the root from the ancient tree growing here in the Lost Shrine. The reason why he wants a piece of the tree is because he's essentially kind of figured out that at some point, all life on the planet seemed to disappear. Like, all the plants and stuff just kind of, poof, like, disappeared. But then, they all came back. And he doesn't understand how that's possible. And so he wants a piece of this tree because he thinks that the piece of this tree is kind of like the key to solving this mystery of why the plants went and disappeared and then came back. And obviously he thinks that it was engineered by somebody. Now the reason why this is important...
Hey, there are shades here.
So? Aww. But anyways, the reason why this is important is because people that have watched my playthrough of NieR Reincarnation, and actually it's not even the playthrough, it's actually the EX stories. So if you're not going to watch the whole playthrough, which you definitely should just for context, if you're not going to watch the whole playthrough, the EX story for, oh gosh, what is her name? 06XX, no, 6XX3Y or something. Anyways, people call her Baldy, because she's obviously bald. But people call her Baldy. Her and her husband were at war with flowers. Like, their whole storyline was that they were at war with these flowers that had, like, supposedly shown up out of nowhere and just, like, started attacking them one day. So... Get her actually. But anyways, so her and her husband, they were just normal people, and then one day the flowers attacked their home and essentially threw humanity into a war with these flowers.
That's the last of them. Now let's get a piece of that tree root.
And after that happened, after the flower showed up, her and her husband were essentially...
Let's get it back to that guy.
Yeah. Her and her husband were essentially conscripted into this war. And in the process of the flowers attacking, they lost their son, which is basically their... it's essentially their driving force for fighting the flowers, is because their son died. Anywho...
I wonder why the Shades are getting so strong. They were never this powerful before.
It seems the Shades are continually expanding their forces.
Looks like they'll just keep pushing us humans back, huh?
No. I'll find a way to stop it.
Anywho, so in the woman's EX story, okay, and I'll try and link it if I remember, but in the woman's EX story, what ends up happening is she was actually a researcher, and some cataclysmic event happened in the world, and it got rid of all the plant life. And so her and the world's finest scientists were essentially living inside this facility where they were studying flora and fauna. And she had found this, she had found this plant that she had been nurturing. And she'd been feeding it, like, you know, specific nutrients and things like that. I think it did mention at some point that it needed, like, certain matter to survive. And I think this plant did eat flesh. Anyways, so she had been studying this flower, she'd been taking care of this flower and trying to get it to grow. And that had kind of been the issue, was that she just could not get these plants to grow, but this flower had been thriving. Well, all of a sudden, this flower starts dying, and so she starts pumping all this stuff into this flower to get it to grow and grow and grow and grow, and she's trying desperately to keep it alive. And once the plant stabilizes, something goes terribly wrong, and the plant ends up breaking free. And this plant is not only able to survive outside of the containment that she built for it, but it's also able to absorb people. It can eat a person and take on their voice, and it can take on their face, And eventually these flowers kind of grow and they become sentient and they worship her as like a goddess. But yeah, so when the world was bare and suddenly plant life burst forward, it's directly related to her and her story.
Here's your stuff.
Much appreciated. Now I can get back to business. Here's some gold. I'll let you know as soon as I need my floor swept or a toilet cleaned.
Just kick that guy in the ocean, Jesus. But yeah, anyways, this story about the tree, it is related directly to reincarnation. It's related directly to that woman and her EX story. So.
Here's your route, buddy.
Oh, how wonderful. This should help with my research. See, research is what a scientist does when...
I know what research is. Get to the point.
Well, see, fossil records show that at one point in the distant past, all plant life just up and disappeared from the surface of our planet. But of course, there are plants here now, which means they managed to come back. I'm trying to figure out how that happened.
Interesting. If you figure it out, it might make growing crops a lot easier.
Huh. You're way smarter than I thought, buddy. Anyway, here's your payment. Thanks again. Back to work then.
Nice. So yeah, the Great Tree, like I said, I love this quest, and the reason why I love it is because it is one of the few quests that relates directly to reincarnation. And the thing is they obviously didn't really do it on purpose, because I'm pretty sure that quest exists in the original. So a fan of Replicant, or Yoko Taro himself, who was working, you know, either the, you know, fan of the game that was paying, or that was, you know, making the game, or Yoko Taro, was like, oh yeah, remember this one thing that happened a long time ago? This one quest? And they still managed to incorporate it somehow into reincarnation. That's why, like, I kind of hate it when people treat reincarnation like it's so low effort because it was a gacha game. And it's like, no, like, the way that they had to weave, like, all these stories together and make them make sense, like, that's some, like, real effort. Like, some absolute stunning effort by developers to make it make sense and to really give, like, the fans something to look at and go, oh my gosh, I know this, I've seen this quest, I understand where it came from, I know the reference. So, like I said, reincarnation, highly underappreciated. Yeah, it definitely wasn't everybody's cup of tea, but you know what? I'll give myself a trophy for having dealt with it, you know? Wow. Phew. It's a lot of baddies. Ooh, item. But yeah, I will forever be a fan of reincarnation because the thing is, it really was something that you had to just stick with it. And the thing is I'm not a mobile gamer. Like, I don't really care for mobile games. So Reincarnation was one of those games where it's like I told myself, I was like, I have to keep playing it. I know it's gonna get better, like it has to, and I have to know what happens. Because like part of me did think like, man, you know, this game is probably going to remain unfinished. Which is wild to think because when I first started playing, they hadn't even finished the Girl and the Monster chapter. And that's kind of crazy to think about now because they took so long to come out with the Girl and the Monster that people were like, are they ever gonna finish this game? And when the Girl and the Monster finished, I was like, is that it? Like, is this the whole app? And like, part of me was convinced that that was just the story, and like, now I was done, and now it was just gonna be like PvP or whatever. Like, I seriously thought like I was finished. And then when they announced Sun and Moon, I was like, it's not done. And then that's when I really started getting excited. Because the Girl and the Monster was kind of just me learning how to play the game. You know, learning about force power and that sort of thing. Like, that was still me just trying to figure everything out. But Sun and Moon, I think, was when I finally got to learn to enjoy and really appreciate the game for what it was. For its storytelling and its visuals. Like, that's when I finally got to look at the game and go, okay, this is a hidden gem. It's a masterpiece, right? In its own right. And then by the time you got to People in the World, I was like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait. Like, I cannot wait. But then there was, of course, that sadness where I was like, oh man. But, you know, People in the World is where it's going to end. And we knew it was coming. You know, it's not like the end of service took a lot of people by surprise. We all, like, people that were paying attention to it really kind of already knew that it was going to happen. You know, it's just none of us really wanted to think about it. And that's kind of where what it comes down to. There we go. Martial arts, Hodil. Hodul. Yeah. There we go. All those words assigned. I just realized we may not have had words assigned to... No, we had words assigned to Spear of the Usurper. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Now, when we come back, I definitely will be doing just more side quests. I don't think we picked up the stuff for the water wheel. We might have, though, but I'm gonna go ahead and talk to the lady and see.
Oh, you. Yeah.
And then we'll, of course, talk to the kids in a little bit. But mostly I'm just worried about the water wheel stuff. You got it? Or, no, you're a child. You're not the water wheel lady. Where is the water wheel person, anyways? I don't remember. I know they're somewhere. Oh, it's the guy over this way. Right? Isn't it this dude? Oh no, he needs his stuff for new ovens. That's not the water wheel guy. So where is the water wheel person? Because I know it was a lady. That's a child, that's a child, that's all for the children's stuff. Is she in here? Unless we just don't have it yet. I would assume we just don't have it yet. I probably didn't go to the Strange Things store like I thought. So we'll just worry about that another time. Because it's really hard to remember where I left off. It's not like I rewatch my videos very often, because I just don't like to hear myself speak. So I wouldn't really remember where we left off, except I just knew we were going to the Junk Heap, because I remember that we desperately need the items. So I don't know why I pick up stuff in town, because really it's just a bunch of berries. So, whoa, slow down, man. Alright, so anywho, so that's all I have for this episode. Anyways, leave a like if you like this series and if you want to see more. Obviously, I'm going to try and do some live streams, because now that we have the Junk Heap open, we can go and grind for some materials. I'm going to try and do that and get as much stuff upgraded as I can. And also just because I don't like, you know, dragging these things on too much. You know, it'd be fun just to interact with you guys, talk about NieR as a series, that sort of thing. But anyways, thank you guys so much for your continued support on my videos, and as always, I will see you all in the next one. Alright, ciao you guys!